Hello, do let me know if you can hear me, see me properly. Hope you're doing well wherever you are. Gonna wait a few minutes for people to tune into the charts and yeah, let me know how you're doing and how your day's been going. Cryptocurrency market has been phenomenal over the last few days. Really excited. Hope you're also doing well. And yeah, you're happy about your profits over the last 2 weeks because, I mean, the altcoin Bullrun has definitely started with a lot of top contenders like aiming for the top spots. So that's fantastic. Ramin, Andilov, glad to have you on the show. Are we gonna get rich with ETH soon? It looks like something big is gonna happen, and yeah, we're gonna be talking about that in today's episode. So yeah, we've had a turbulent week, a little bit of downside, but massive upside. So that's been fantastic. But mostly altcoins have been performing really well. We'll be going to look at which ones were performing super well, and yeah, what the price targets are for those. And then hopefully also talk a little bit about what kind of news is happening. And I really wanted to talk about the massive growth that Ethereum could be experiencing in the next 2 to 3 weeks with some technical analysis and also some fundamentals showing that in the wider scope of things, it really looks like a lot of money is going to be flowing into the cryptocurrency space. So let's quickly have a look how many people are watching at the moment. Do make sure to leave a like if you enjoy the content. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. I bring free weekly videos around cryptocurrency, DeFi, making sure that you've got all the knowledge that you need to have to thrive in the cryptocurrency and DeFi space. I mean, I talked a lot about ETH when it was around $100 US. Hopefully some of my subscribers managed to grab some ETH at those prices. But yeah, there's a lot of cryptocurrencies that have a lot of potential. Ramin, I appreciate your comment. Where you from and when did you start watching my videos? Yeah, really happy that you're enjoying the content and yeah, gained a bit of information. Hi, Sean Burke, happy to have you on the show. We'll probably be starting in like 3 to 4 minutes, waiting for a few people to tune in. Do let me know what kind of altcoins you've been following lately and if you've got any luck. I'm really happy with Polkadot and Cardano. They've blown up massively over the last 2 weeks. I mean, my portfolio doubled since the beginning of the year, so I cannot complain. So yeah, that's that. So definitely let me know if you're like seeing green, and if not, yeah, then I don't know, maybe you can send me an email and we can go over your portfolio and I can maybe give you some tips and tricks on what you should maybe be looking at. So I'll be sharing my altcoin Bullrun cycle and yeah, what kind of strategy I'm going to be following. If I'm going to be taking some profit, if I'm going to be moving from ETH, if I'm going to be buying some BTC, and I'll be basically explaining what my whole strategy is to make the best of this altcoin cycle. It's not the first time I've been through an altcoin cycle, and I realize if you're, well, if you're experiencing this for the first time, it's definitely going to be mind-blowing when seeing double digits. I mean, just earning like 10, 20, 30% on a certain asset in an hour or a day it's something that is unfathomable in the traditional financial world. I mean, you probably have to wait a year, and then if you get lucky, you might have your 10%. But in the cryptocurrency space, double digits is pretty boring. Everyone's looking for triple digit gains. And yeah. So you're from London, subscribed about a week ago, holding ETH. I'm really happy about that. I'm from Glasgow, Scotland. Lived a little bit in London, but yeah, I've been living in Switzerland now for 29 years. Really happy that you joined a week ago. Hopefully you'll enjoy a lot more of the content that I'm bringing. Hopefully I'm going to be doing this whole stuff full time in, yeah, probably around May, and then massive amounts of content can be produced, can do this full time. That would be awesome. So yeah, let's soon get this ball rolling. Do make sure again to smash that like button. It helps people find my channel. I'm waiting for my channel to also get double digits growth in the next few weeks. That would be really awesome. And yeah, without further ado, let's jump right into the content and look a bit about the market. I mean, the broader thing, we'll look also at the DeFi space, looking at the prices of ETH, ETH USD and ETH BTC, because that's super important, what the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks, end of January is going to look like for ETH. I'm really bullish on ETH. There's some key indicators that are painting some really bullish signals, and that's really good for everyone that's holding ETH. We'll be looking at DOT. DOT has had a massive price rally. I'll be bringing you some information about UBS, negative yields, and that's super important for any kind of investor, even like Bitcoin investor, Ethereum investor, because it's going to show why it makes no sense to keep large amounts of fiat in a bank account. And that means a lot of rich individuals, family offices, those are offices that tend to manage the wealth of billionaires, are probably going to look to diversify. And the equity market is super hot at the moment, not something that many people probably want to touch after the massive rises. So there are not many other options, and Bitcoin and ETH and the rest of the cryptocurrency space is definitely looking really enticing, especially with the massive yields that can be earned. Then we'll be looking at some really cool altcoin picks, especially in the DeFi space, that Grayscale has been accumulating. So this is definitely really interesting. Yeah, and then I'll also be sharing with you my altcoin strategy, how I'm going to be profiting from this altcoin bull run, what you should pay attention to, and how you should be increasing your portfolio. So all of that in this video. So yeah, the market has been moving sideways for Bitcoin, at least since the beginning of the year. So last 2 weeks, Bitcoin was trading around $35,000 to $45,000 in that range. And this is really good. As long as Bitcoin trades sideways, you've got something that's called the money flow. That means that the money first flows into Bitcoin, and then when Bitcoin starts moving sideways, well, people start to get bored and they want to actually increase their Bitcoin position. So they're going to be looking for different altcoins that hopefully also increase in value, but not in USD value, but in BTC value. And then they can buy back in Bitcoin. But in a nutshell, as long as Bitcoin is moving sideways, the altcoins are going to be thriving. And as you probably have noticed, if you're holding some altcoins, I don't consider ETH as an altcoin, but the remaining altcoins, then yeah, you'd have seen like double-digit price increases over the last 2 to 3 days. So it's been ramping up pretty much. I'm very happy about my altcoin picks that I've got. I'll share with you in a bit what my current portfolio looks like in terms of percentages, what allocations I've got. But yeah, it doesn't mean if I'm not holding a certain coin that I'm not, I don't find it good. But for me, those coins that I've selected have, in my opinion, the highest potential. So yeah, the massive gainers at the moment, we've got, of course, Polkadot that did an incredible performance price-wise. I think like 1 or 2 weeks ago it was probably just at $5, and now it actually blew past the $18 range, printing a new high. But this is a massive increase. I actually just entered into the short-term position at around $10 on Polkadot. And I'm looking at the ETH trading pair to increase my ETH position. Now, of course, XRP trading sideways due to bad fundamentals and the problem with the SEC. In my opinion, I'd stay away from XRP as it's losing a lot of value in ETH and BTC ratio. So you'd be better diversifying if you've only got XRP. If you've got some XRP, maybe think about diversifying that portion and putting into other coins that might have a little bit more potential. The historical price performance for XRP has been terrible. Now, Cardano has massive potential in my opinion. I started accumulating Cardano around 3-4 cents at the beginning of last year. It's definitely a risky investment, but it's got high potential. Not like super risky, but it's risky in the sense that large portions of what they're promising has still not been delivered. And that is something that has to come in March, April this year, hopefully with no delays. And why I'm really bullish on Cardano at the moment is the twofold. The first one is that they're going to be bringing a type of converter that will help them copy paste basically ETH dApps or Ethereum dApps onto the Cardano blockchain. Really, really interesting thing, because that will help them catapult the DeFi ecosystem on the Cardano blockchain. And if you've been using DeFi lately, paying like $50, $100, even $200 in transaction fees, or when interacting with smart contracts, is just mind-blowingly high. It makes the DeFi space unusable. And many people have been saying, yeah, but Ethereum has a massive DeFi space. What is it with these new ETH killers like Polkadot and Cardano? And I'm just going to say, yeah, it's true, Ethereum's got the network effect. However, if you will start now finding new fantastic yield platforms on Cardano and Polkadot, you only have to pay like 1 or 2 cents for a smart contract transaction. Like, believe me, the people are going to flock to the cheaper chain. And if that chain also has fantastic scalability, meaning that the transactions go fast, and also the smart contract calls more or less instantaneously, well, that will really drive a lot of users onto those two chains. So in my opinion, Polkadot has a lot of potential in the DeFi space, and Cardano also has a lot of potential in the DeFi space. And if you're not already following the DeFi space, it's a trend that has just begun. It's like super early. I mean, the cryptocurrency space is already now more or less 10 years old. Bitcoin, the father of cryptocurrencies, has a maturity of 12 years. However, the DeFi space basically only started last year, and Ethereum is the main player, has more or less 90% or even 95% of the whole market share. And in my opinion, in the next like 1 to 2 years, this market share is going to drop massively for Ethereum, as other players are going to be able to cut a larger portion of this market share, meaning of course that their market cap and price is going to increase incredibly. So what I also like about Cardano at the moment is it's still not listed on Coinbase. So hopefully it will happen, and with the Coinbase pump, that would probably catapult Cardano probably at around 50 cents or something like that. But yeah, enough Cardano shilling. So Strauss de Lange, what do you think about refinance? I've read a bit about it, but haven't looked at it in depth. Do let me some time, and I'll give a look at it, and then maybe we can look at it after I've done most of my content pieces, and I can give you my like honest opinion, but it's like brief opinion since I haven't done a lot of research on that project. All right, yeah, another fantastic DeFi project that has gained a lot of value over the last 2 to 3 days is of course the Chainlink. The Link Marines have definitely been pushing this project quite a lot, but it does serve a really good purpose. It's bringing data to the whole DeFi space. So yeah. Top 100 DeFi coins by market capitalization. Here, what is really exciting, we've got, of course, Chainlink, the data oracle. We've got Aave, a lending platform that allows you to earn insanely high yields on your stable coins, and also for more experienced people, allow them to use the flash loan functionality, which allows developers or skilled scripters to arbitrage decentralized exchange liquidity pools and then profit. So you can basically borrow like $1 million without putting up collateral, but you have to pay this $1 million back after the in the same transaction. Otherwise you won't be able to borrow these $1 million. But that's basically the gist of the flash loans. And this is great because with the massive increase in flash loans and the borrowing aspect, it allows Aave to offer lenders a lot of yield. Synthetics network is also growing a lot. It's basically a derivatives exchange that is completely decentralized. So if someone is living in the US, they can probably do some leverage trading on the Synthetics network. Yeah, since no regulators can stop them. Marcos Hernandez, thoughts on Theta? I think it's a pretty good project. I actually was invested in it at around 69-70 cents, but I've moved mostly my position back into ETH at the moment. Yeah, it's definitely a pretty good project to keep an eye on. Uniswap has actually done some pretty big leaps, and then the fantastic thing about the Uniswap project is that it was an airdrop, so you got around 400 tokens back in September. I believe it was the 27th of September. Do let me know if you also managed to get this Uniswap airdrop. At the time, you could actually, I believe when the airdrop happened, Uni traded at a max of $8 1 or 2 days later, and that meant that your Uni tokens were worth 5 ETH. So you could have like swapped your Uni for ETH at the time, and yeah, that would have been $5,000 at the current price, so even a little bit more. Akshay Jav, when Ethereum touch its all-time high, then will correct to downside a little bit, or will cross and move upwards? A very good question. We're going to be talking soon about the ETH, USD, ETH, BTC price, and I'm going to be giving you a bit of an insight on what I believe is going to be happening, but it's more of a bigger picture and not like super precise movements. It's very important to look at the price on the long term and don't be distracted by smaller price movements. So if you buy, for example, at $1,100, don't really be bothered if it goes like to $1,000 or $1,050. You have to look at the big picture and hope that it goes a lot higher. But more about that in just a bit. And yeah, basically that is all of the DeFi coins at the moment. Yearn Finance also looks really promising, and the last one is the Graph. Unfortunately, I missed out on the Graph ICO, but I think this is a pretty cool project. It allows people to, or mostly developers, to query DeFi data statistics and present them into smart contracts. So this is very useful in the DeFi space for decentralized finance projects to actually get, for example, prices or smart contract information from other projects. It allows for a lot more interoperability. So that's basically what has been happening a little bit with the price movements of different coins. I'm mostly focused at the moment on Polkadot, Cardano, Aave, and Uniswap. I did have a bit of Yearn Finance, but in my opinion, it's already increased by a massive amount. Even though the coin amount, they only have 30,000 tokens. In my opinion, it's still more of a risky project. So let's look and talk about the ETH USD price and the ETH BTC price. So I think this is a good moment to actually give you a little bit of an insight on how I like to track my portfolio and why I think you should also track your portfolio the same way I do. Because if you're tracking your portfolio in the wrong way, it might give you the impression that your portfolio is going up in terms of USD valuation. However, it's possible that your portfolio is not performing that well, since USD will always suffer some sort of inflation. That means even if your coin is worth $1,000 this year, if it's worth $1,000 next year, then it basically lost a bit in value due to inflation and the purchasing power that it has, because costs of goods goes up every year. That's basically inflation. Now, the way that I like to measure my portfolio is by measuring it in ETH and BTC. So I always switch between ETH and BTC. When I believe that BTC is going to be doing a lot better, then I measure my portfolio in BTC. And when I believe that ETH is going to be doing a lot better, then I'll be measuring it in ETH. So I think it's very, very important to look at those two assets, ETH and BTC, and measure your portfolio always in that. You basically always want to have a lot more ETH after altcoin trades than before those altcoin trades. The only reason, in my opinion, with the altcoins that you have is to increase your ETH and BTC position. Apart from maybe a few exceptions. Like, I've only got one exception, and that is Cardano. Like I said, I'm pretty bullish on it. So that's one of the coins that I won't be trading. It's not like one of my fast flips. But with most other altcoins that I'm holding, I would typically try and increase my ETH or BTC portfolio. Now, here we've got the ETH USD price chart, and it's looking really great. We're very close to the previous all-time high. We've got a massive wick to the downside that happened, I believe, 1 or 2 days ago. If I'm not mistaken, it might have been yesterday, where the price dipped below the previous candle and actually reached $912. If someone actually managed to place a limit order there, they got incredibly lucky. But this wick is actually pretty bullish, and we've got 1 day and 5 hours left for this candle to close. So typically you want to have a candle close before you can estimate what is going to happen next. And if this candle closes above the previous candle close, so that would be above $1,240. So we want to have the current candle close above the $1,240 range for the next week to be a bullish week. Now, it doesn't mean that the price couldn't drop down, but typically the trend at the moment is bullish, so you always have to trade with the trend. And yeah, so now back to your question, Akshay, and that is, will the price dip when we reach the previous all-time high? It's possible it dips a bit. The previous all-time high acts as a resistance. That means you're going to have a lot of sellers that believe the price is going to go down. But what is also really fantastic, and I want to show you this, is the massive amount of volume that we're getting. Sorry for this really bad drawing, but we're getting a lot of volume, buying volume entering the market, and that's what we really want to see. When the price actually reaches the previous all-time high, we want to see the same amount of volume happening in the market, because that will mean that the interest for ETH is increasing. It's not just speculation. There's a lot of big pocketed buyers that are waiting to actually see if the price will break above. So it's going to be a very risky play to try and time the market and believe that the price is going to go down. In my opinion, this candle that we just saw, it's really important that that closes above the $1,245 range, and then we can actually see what's going to happen. So if it does close above, I definitely anticipate that we'll actually be testing the all-time high this week. So starting from from after this this video is finished. And this is definitely really exciting. Now, what I also would like to share with you is the ETH BTC pair. As like I mentioned, it's very important to actually measure your portfolio in ETH and BTC. Now I also like to do that with the ETH that I'm holding. I want to actually compare how is the performance with BTC, and at the moment the ETH BTC ratio is really low. We're at 0.034. Now of course it's been a lot lower, but it's looking pretty good. So here you've got two signals that are actually very bullish. And the first one is, even though we entered already on the 27th of July into this massive cloud formation, there's a rule of thumb that states as soon as the price enters this cloud from the Ichimoku cloud, you typically see an edge-to-edge trade. And this would be for the ETH BTC pair. That means that ETH gains in value in relation to BTC, and that's something you definitely want to do. And at the moment, in my opinion, ETH is way undervalued compared to BTC. So this pump up to 0.05 definitely looks pretty good. And Christoph Dobleski, when is a good moment to place an ETH long order? Yeah, I really don't like to give financial advice, because if it goes wrong, people will definitely not be happy with me. However, I definitely would either put the long position. I would place, me personally, I would place my long position as soon as this candle closes. So if this candle closes above the previous high, so above $1,240, now I will be placing my long, because I believe placing the long position like right after the previous all-time high, it's going to be a risky thing, because I believe should the price break above the previous all-time high, then the buy orders are going to be flowing in. It's going to be like a crazy battle to get the best possible price. People are going to be buying, market buying into ETH, which will probably skyrocket the price. Now if you look at the price increase that we had before for ETH BTC, that would be 47% if we go to the top of the cloud. And the second indicator that we are going to be moving into bullish trend for the ETH BTC ratio would be with this little blue sliver that you see, and in the Ichimoku terminology, that's called an Ichimoku twist. And basically that shows that the next few weeks, months should be bullish for the current ratio. So that's that. In my opinion, so I posted a price prediction on Twitter. Make sure that you follow me on Twitter if you want the most up-to-date news and gems and information I find about crypto. I also post some more advanced stuff there if you're interested in finding that. You'll find a link to my Twitter in the description box. It's at your DeFi guide. Make sure to do that. And if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, definitely click that subscribe button and bring weekly content for free. And yeah, all you have to do is smash that like button to make me and the YouTube algorithm happy. All right, now Polkadot, not sure if anyone is following Polkadot. Do let me know if you've got Polkadot in your portfolio. It's definitely had a phenomenal rise. I mean, it's pumping like there's no tomorrow, and that is great, but also dangerous, since very often such massive price rallies come with corrections. But it's really difficult to hold on to such price rallies and actually come out on top. Like I always tell my friends, it's really easy to make $10,000. Like, let's say you buy a coin for $1,000 and it goes 10x. It's really difficult then not to sell when you did 10x, because you're like scared that you make some losses. And that's why most people actually make 10x rather easily, but 100x and 1000x is very, very, very difficult, unless you forget about the token completely, because at some point you will see these massive price increases and then you believe that it's going to crash. And then many people, they got shaken out. So some people got shaken out at $7. Some people got at this candle here. Some people got actually shaken out at 7.22 because they could not control their emotions. And yeah, that's that. If you look at the Ichimoku cloud, basically what you want to do is just follow the trend. The trend at the moment is bullish. If you exit the market, just exit completely. That means you sell a portion and you do not reinvest it. And I've made a video. I always like to show that video because I think that with this kind of strategy, you would definitely make profit in this bull market. And that's with the how to make profit video. I haven't linked it, but you can find it on my channel. It's pretty popular at the moment. It's about setting price targets, and I'm pushing this video a lot because I definitely want you guys to make the most profit possible in this in this bull run, because I remember how it felt like in 2017 when everything was skyrocketing, no one took profit, and then afterwards the price crashes. So definitely watch the how to make profit video on my channel if you're serious about making profit during this bull run and not ending up empty-handed like many investors buying the top in 2017. Gunther, DOT will go much higher. Yeah, definitely. I agree with you completely. I'm just mostly talking about people that are maybe typically buying maybe the top or the top of a pump, and then they get shaken out when the price goes down because they just lost maybe 20, 30, 40%. So in my opinion, better to accumulate when a coin is going sideways, or the second best time to accumulate is at the first candle close above the previous all-time high. So basically here on this example, we're looking at the daily. If you don't already have a TradingView account, even for long-term investing, I highly recommend that you have one. Some of the indicators are very easy to use and it will help you find a better entry position. So in this case, we had an entry at $5.80, and I did have some DOT like in August or September 2020, but I sold it. And I wanted to actually get back into the position, so I bought a bunch of DOT at around $7, and I bought it because of this candle close here. So this candle closed actually above $6.60. I think I actually got some DOT a bit higher. I think I got it around $7. So I got it at $7 because of the massive amount of volume. So if you look at this volume here, then that is a very good indicator that this pump is probably going to continue. And the same with the volume that you're seeing on this second pump. Well, that's it. so basically, you always want to wait for a candle close before. Basically, you want to wait for a candle close that is above the previous all-time high for like smaller coins, and you definitely also want to see some higher highs. So if you see like a higher high is basically if you've got a low. So this would be actually a double bottom, which is also a pretty bullish signal. You've got about double bottom, and then afterwards a break above the previous high. And then the definite signal is here on the second candle where it breaks above the previous high, which looks like the complete all-time high, which was at $6.80. And that's a definite signal to enter. So this is maybe like a small crash course on how to find some good entries. It's definitely not something easy to do. Of course, fundamentals is a lot better. Because that allows you to actually enter projects when they're super low, like at $4, $5, because you like the project. But it also means that you're going to have to be super patient. So here from the 24th of September to basically the 25th of December, nothing really happened with DOT since Bitcoin was actually pumping massively and most of the altcoins were bleeding. So if you're in some altcoin positions, you just have to realize that when the BTC is having its bull run, you should definitely have quite a lot of BTC and ETH in your portfolio. When the altcoin rally is happening, then feel free to actually diversify a little bit of your trading part of your BTC portfolio and put it into some altcoins. Maybe follow the tips that I just gave you before with the candle close. And you can also use some other tips, like if you've got some moving averages, every time that the price actually touches a moving average, there's a high probability that there's going to be a bounce. So I'm actually going to be posting a lot more information like this, but creating a video every time is quite time demanding. So I'm actually going to be launching a newsletter pretty soon, a free newsletter. Well, at least at the beginning it's going to be free. It's always going to have some free information in it. And if you're interested, you can actually find the newsletter in the link below. All right, so let's quickly answer some of the questions. Yeah, DOT will go much higher. Yeah, I do believe Polkadot will actually go quite a lot higher. I made my price prediction video for Polkadot, I believe in December, and I said that DOT should reach around $100 at the end of 2021. That's my price estimation. But yeah, it's possible that it goes way above that. And thanks for your insights, Kierin. Really appreciate that. Yeah, hope you can get some nuggets of information. Do you think BTC is going to reach another all-time high next week? To be honest, at the moment, I think Bitcoin is going to be trading sideways for the next 2 to 3 weeks. Now, of course, don't quote me on that. That's just how I'm actually allocating my position, and I've seen quite a lot of others like Bob Lucas, who said that he's moving quite a bit of Bitcoin into ETH. ETH is at the moment, in my opinion, one of the cryptocurrencies that is pretty undervalued. Of course, it's got a massive market cap, but it's also got quite a lot of potential and is rather safe. So in my opinion, Bitcoin is going to be trading sideways between 35 and 40,000. And yeah, it's your DeFi guide. You might find it in the description below, but I can write it here in the chat for you. All right, let's continue with some fundamentals, and this is actually to help you have less FOMO about or put your fears aside when it comes to the cryptocurrency space, because I realized that the noise of the market moving up and down, they can actually have an impact on your mental health if you're over leveraged in the cryptocurrency space. Yeah. Oh, I appreciate that. Wise Beyond Bitcoin, I appreciate your donation. Would you have time to talk about Wise to support a grassroots crypto education channel? Love your energy and approach. Namaste, brother. I'll look at your channel in just a bit, and I'll give you some feedback. Thanks a lot for the donation. I appreciate it. So let's get back to the fundamentals. So it's very important that you don't really focus too much on the price swings. If you're over leveraged, as full disclosure, 95% of my assets that I hold are in the cryptocurrency space. So I'm definitely over leveraged in the cryptocurrency space. But me personally, I'm a big believer of everything that is happening. And I believe it has a lot of potential, but I also accept the risks that can happen. So this fundamentals that I want to talk about, and this is actually a big topic because it goes a lot deeper than just this company. And this company is the UBS to charge negative rates on holding above 250,000 Swiss francs euros. So this is information that was provided to all account holders of the UBS. So UBS is a very famous international bank with its location in Switzerland. So you have to think about that. If you've got more than 250,000 US dollars, then in an account, you're going to be paying 0.75% interest rate fee from July. I mean, think about that. The idea at some point of banks were that you could actually earn some interest, and yeah, it somehow changed with the money printing the Federal Reserve, the Federal Reserve banks of different countries figured out, okay, we can just print unlimited amount of money, but we're going to start charging banks for the money that they're getting. So that's why the banks cannot actually provide a positive interest rate. So now you've got all of these like family offices, wealthy individuals, not only in Switzerland, but international individuals that have 250,000 Swiss francs or more in their accounts. And they're going to have to think about a way to actually diversify. So cash has become bad. Cash has become terrible. If you've been following Michael Saylor, he actually started investing in Bitcoin because his company had a large, it had a large cash position, and investors didn't really like this large cash position. I believe the cash position was around 400 or 500 million US dollars. And with the inflation, the hyperinflation that the current market is facing, they were losing around 15 to 25 million dollars per year. Think about that. I mean, he brought a fantastic analogy, and that is having such a large cash position is like holding an ice cube and it's melting away. So in 5 years, you lose like 50, 60, 70 million US dollars. So he doesn't really care if the price of Bitcoin like drops 50%. In the long run, it's going to be a multiple of what it is at the moment. So he doesn't really care if it's like 5 years, 10 years. And that's why the large institutions are not going to be selling if the price drops. They're not going to be selling if Bitcoin reaches 100K. They're not going to be selling if ETH reaches 10K, because for them, cash, it just burns away. I mean, the cryptocurrency space now is offering like large institutions an opportunity to have an asset that is actually increasing in value. It's programmable money, programmable gold, how you like to call it. It's definitely a new asset that they can actually start buying easily. They can transport it easily. So they can also earn fantastic yields, like for example with Aave or so. Wise beyond Bitcoin, make sure leave a link to your channel and I'll open it up in a few minutes. So yeah, basically that was the gist behind this Reuters article. I believe in the next 1 to 2 years you're going to see a massive inflow of money entering the cryptocurrency space. It's something that has started, and it's something that will continue. Next 5 years, hold on to your seats. This is just the beginning. Don't exit too early. Definitely set some price targets where you want to exit your positions, so you definitely have some profit, but keep some for the long run, because 5 to 10 years time, you're going to be talking to your children with nostalgia, thinking about the 2021 bull run. Yeah. So let's quickly wait. Wise beyond Bitcoin. Do you want to share with sorry, I can't speak anymore. So Wise beyond Bitcoin, do you want to share with me your crypto education channel? I love your energy and approach. Definitely share with me your channel. As soon as you paste your channel, I'll open it up and look at it and give you some inputs. Gunter, ETH 4-hour candle closing at 1,253. This is definitely good, really great. I definitely like on the weekly a close at 1,250, but a 4-hour close, I would take that as well. Full disclosure, I do have a long position. It's not like a super risky long position, but I have a 3x long position that entered at $1,200 on ETH. So yeah, let's hope that it does go up, but you do have to make sure that you've got a good profit risk strategy, meaning that you place your stop loss somewhere, and when you select your profit, you're taking a lot more profit than the risk that you're taking. So the ratio of profit is higher than the risk. If you're familiar with trading, then I'm pretty sure you know what I mean. If you're not familiar with trading, make sure that you search for profit risk ratio, especially with leverage trading. I wouldn't use the profit risk ratio with just normal investing, especially if it's in like top 10, 20 caps. At some point, you might have to think about if it makes sense to invest in a certain project, if it's always had like a bad historical performance, XRP, like as an example. But yeah, in my opinion, profit ratio, risk profit ratio is super important when leverage trading. So another bit of bullish news, and that's from Raul Paul. He talks about DeFi target and $20,000 Ethereum. And I mean, even though I really love these articles, I do tend to believe that he's definitely bought a massive bag of ETH before actually spouting out this target. And I mean, it's the same with the Winklevoss twins and with other investors, like deep pocketed investors. They definitely want to pump up the price, but I mean, there are some solid fundamentals behind ETH, so it's still fine. So here, this is the tweet that he posted. By the way, ETH is up 60% in the first 14 days of this year. I think it outperforms all year, but I still own much more BTC, but have been adding to ETH. Next stop will be higher risk alts, but much, much smaller. More risk equal smaller size. So this is one of the best investing strategies that I can give you. And even though I don't really have now a way to prove it, I might do that in the next video, but my actual portfolio performance has been, in the last month, has been, I believe, 20 or 30% better than the cryptocurrency performance, and around like 17 or 18% better than Bitcoin performance in the last month. So, and that is attributed to the fact that I always measure my cryptocurrency portfolio in ETH and BTC, and also I manage my risk really well, in my opinion, or basically my portfolio speaks for it. Of course, there are people that manage to get like 1000x in a year and so on, and I must say that's incredible. At the moment, since the beginning of last year, my portfolio did around 690% gains. And yeah, I'm pretty sure that people that have accumulated a lot of ETH, well, they did also pretty well. But for example, last year, had I only bought ETH or only bought BTC, my portfolio would have done a lot better than it did. And that's because I didn't really respect the Bitcoin cycle and the altcoin cycle. So you really have to make sure that you time these cycles. Otherwise, your portfolio will not perform. So the easiest way is to have a large position in BTC, a large position in ETH, and then maybe one or two smaller, riskier projects. So at the moment, my portfolio allocation actually, I'm temporarily moved quite a lot of my BTC into ETH. So my ETH stack is pretty high. At the moment, I believe it's probably around 35%. Cardano is also around 30%. I believe BTC is around 20% of my portfolio. I've got some Polkadot, which is probably around 7 or 8%. And then I've got like some small, like super high risk projects. I believe I've got a little bit of Aave, which did incredibly well. So when you've got your portfolio and one coin performs really well, don't really be scared about shifting a little bit of that value into the other projects. Diversify a little bit to make sure that your portfolio grows. Like Crypto Michael actually really likes to say, you should love your portfolio. Don't love like a single coin. Don't get into a relationship with a single coin. And you might be laughing, but I've seen so many examples of people being fanatics about a certain project. And yeah, very often that ends up really bad, because if a project is not performing well over like 1 or 2 years, yeah, ETH BTC at the moment, safest and highest potential, so that's pretty good. If you want to have like the best possible return with the lowest amount of risk, ETH BTC are the best bets. That's it. If you want a little bit more risk, then maybe look at top 10, top 20 projects. You go anywhere lower than that, then you go into the higher risk. And if you go past the 1,000th project on CoinMarketCap, then you're on put on a blindfold and throw a dart type of risk, hoping for 100x or 0. It's basically that. In those territories, you'll probably more likely get rug pulled, meaning the developer actually escapes with all of the funds, leaving you dry. So let's quickly talk about Aave again. Just short notice, and I think this is really fantastic, and that is feedback from Aave, because Mark Cuban was complaining about the high gas prices, and of course everyone knows at the moment DeFi is unusable with the extremely high gas prices. But then Aave actually said, see you on layer 2. So that means they're actually concocting something, brewing something up, probably launching some kind of layer 2 solution on the Aave platform, which would be fantastic. Definitely looking forward to that. So let's have a look at what kind of DeFi projects Grayscale is looking at. So we've got Filecoin. Haven't heard that one in a while, but it's a pretty interesting project. The early investors definitely made massive amounts of money. So Filecoin, developed by Protocol Labs. It's basically a type of IPFS, so a way to save documents, probably also maybe websites on a decentralized web cloud solution. And you've got Zcash. They're also investing in Zcash. Ethereum Classic, not too happy that they're investing in Ethereum Classic, but I guess they kind of want to hedge a little bit. Not really sure what their what kind of reasoning they've got for investing in Ethereum Classic. Probably because it's got the name in Ethereum in it. But yeah, reserve rights, Zen, and AP3. So these are some of the top projects that Grayscale altcoin portfolio is accumulating. I don't know, I'm not too hyped about their portfolio. There are quite a few coins in it that I would say, I don't know, I wouldn't even touch with like a 10-yard stick. Ethereum Classic being one of them. Reserve rights, yeah, I'm not a fan of that project as well. So quite interesting what kind of portfolio they've got. So I do believe a lot of people have these reserve rights, as it was showed quite a lot in 2019 and 2020 by some other crypto YouTubers. BTC and ETH are the only ones that make you sleep well, and I correct. That's definitely a fact. So if you're a DeFi farmer and you're interested in some yield, I've got 2 projects I'd like to share with you, but do keep in mind, yield farming DeFi solutions are always super high risk with smart contract vulnerabilities, hacks, rug pulls, and so on that can pop up left and right. So just keep that in mind. Another thing is, with the incredibly high gas fees to interact with smart contracts, it actually only makes sense to invest more than $5,000 or actually more than $10,000 into such pools to counter the massively high gas fees. So yeah, it's not like you can just put in $100 because you'll probably be paying $50 in gas fees. So that doesn't make sense. So you're going to have to be putting like $5,000, $10,000. So that definitely amps up the risk a lot, and it's some new projects. But Curve Finance has been around pretty long, so it's not like a completely new project. And what is super interesting with this is it's a liquidity pool where you can earn 140% APY with Curve's new Euro pool. And this is really, really interesting, because if you're already familiar with liquidity pools, then you already know what impermanent loss is. But if you're not familiar with liquidity pools, impermanent loss is really bad, since if the ratio between 2 tokens changes massively, then you're going to be losing out in funds had you just held one of the tokens. Now, very often the fees that you earn with a liquidity pool, it counteracts this impermanent loss. However, if you're putting in money or assets into a pool and both of these assets have more or less the same ratio, that means the value of both of these assets stays the same, well, then you're not going to have any impermanent loss, because yeah, the ratio doesn't change. And this is it. With this Euro pool, you're not going to have any impermanent loss. So it's with Euro. Euro is the currency used in Europe, in case you're not familiar with that. And you've got this Euro S ERC20 token, and you've got this Synthetics S Euro ERC20 token, and you can provide this liquidity. As an example, if you want to exit at some point from the bull run, my strategy, I'm going to be staying 100% in DeFi. I'm going to be buying stablecoins with my profits. I'm going to be earning yield with my profits. I'm not going to go back to the banking world, and that's my strategy. I know it's a lot more risky, but I'm going to diversify my profits among different platforms, for example Aave, Compound, Yearn Finance, to mitigate the risk. And I might also invest a little bit of money in some higher yield projects that have higher risk. And that would, for example, be an example. This would be an example with the Euro liquidity pool. So by having a stablecoin, you don't have the risk of volatility, and by earning a crazy amount of yield, well, you're not going to be earning yield anywhere else with that money. So there's no point in putting it back into your bank. I mean, I mean, you could buy some bonds or some equities, but yeah, that's boring. That's boring stuff. Especially if you've been in the cryptocurrency space, you will think that the traditional financial space is boring. You see like a return rates of 5%. You're like wondering if it's by hour, and then you realize that it's by year. But yeah, so. For this liquidity pool, you've got actually 2 options, and you will be earning the trading fees, SNX rewards, and Curve rewards all at once, providing liquidity to this pool. If you do the unboosted basis, it will fetch you 50% APY, and right now, Curve's boosted APY can kick you up to 124%. Now, of course, this might go down a bit. The more interest comes into this pool. But yeah, if you want more information, I'll definitely be like releasing a lot more tidbits and goodies like this in the newsletters. Definitely sign up to the newsletter if you're interested in that. It's going to be started as soon as we've got 100 people that are interested. So the last super risky platform to earn high yields is indexed finance. I'm not even sure if they're audited, so take that with a grain of salt. I like to share projects that are new, but it doesn't mean that you have to throw all of your life savings into this. Yeah, at the moment they've got crazily high yields on multiple pools. So here you've got the DeFi top 5 index, fantastic index. And here you can stake. But first of all, what is actually indexed? It's a platform that allows you to buy ERC20 tokens of like top 5 coins. So for example, here you've got the DeFi top 5 index, which is the top 5 cryptocurrency coins as an ERC20 token, very similar to DeFi Pulse. And you've also got the cryptocurrency top 10 index, which is $39. Another one is $46. So you're basically buying a share of the top 5 index or the top 10 index. So this is a very interesting project, and I'm sure a lot more projects like this will come about in the next few months, next few years. And the great thing is people will be able to actually trade these two indexes and if you buy one of these indexes, not only you get exposure to the cryptocurrency market or the DeFi market, but you can also earn some fees by staking it. So then you go here and then you would stake this DeFi top index with ETH. You might have impermanent loss, and then you would stake it, and then you have 497. Top 10 index would be also 502. So like I mentioned at the beginning, I like to share these projects because it shows how the DeFi space is thriving, what kind of new options happen and are available to people. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to try it out, but it broadens your knowledge about all of the different types of projects that start to pop up. And yeah, some people probably thought that Yearn Finance was also a super sketchy project. I was one of those. I thought that Yearn Finance was super sketchy, and I believe Yearn Finance was at the time maybe around $900, $1,000. And yeah, unfortunately that project I didn't want to try it out because I thought it was too sketchy, and yeah, I missed out on a big payout. I'm not saying that you should invest in these type of projects, but I think it's very interesting to look at what's around, what kind of new options are coming onto the DeFi space. And yeah, just to increase your knowledge about it. Not an investment advice, not advice to use the project with a substantial amount of money, especially due to the gas fees. So yeah, we're coming to an end of this video. I'm super hungry. I'm going to be cooking something delicious to eat. I'll leave the stream on for the last few minutes, maybe 5 minutes. Yeah, 3-5 minutes, depending on how many questions come up. Ask me what kind of questions you want, and I'll try and answer them as best as I can. I really appreciate your participation in this stream. I'm looking forward to the next 1 to 2 weeks. It's going to be incredibly interesting, exciting, lucrative for our portfolios. And yeah, the cryptocurrency space is never disappointing, never boring. Or sometimes it's boring, but now it's not boring. So if you've got any questions, definitely let me know. Hi, some person. Polkadot, it's been fantastic lately. I'm sure you're also making great profits. Davy Vagabond, glad to have you on today as well. Hope you're doing well, and yeah, you're staying safe at the moment. The current situation might not be easy for many people. Not sure where everyone is living, but I'm pretty sure that most parts of the world you're dealing with the same problems. So I do hope you're safe. Your financial situations is in order, you've got a job, or you've got a way to make money. So I do hope all of that is working for you. So Sean Burke, what courses would you recommend to learn about crypto trading? Unfortunately, at the moment, I do not have my own course, but maybe at some point I'll make my own. Let me think. So what would you actually like to know, Sean Burke? I think that's the most important thing. Would you like to know how to day trade, or would you like to know how to invest? Why is Beyond Bitcoin is the name of our YouTube channel. Chat won't let me post link. All right, let me quickly check out your YouTube channel. Let me search for that. You're gonna see all of my strange YouTube recommendations. I won't be able to watch any videos. So how long have you been doing cryptocurrency and YouTube wise Beyond Bitcoin? Schomburg invest. So all right, let me first look at Wise Beyond Bitcoin's channel, and then I'll come back to your question, Schomburg. All right, Wise Beyond Bitcoin. Let me look at the channel and give you maybe hopefully some feedbacks on how you can actually grow. So the first tip I would give you, I'm not sure if you're using a tool like vidIQ. I recommend that you use a tool like vidIQ to find out what kind of popular keywords are being used. So that will help you hopefully find some videos that are working really well. The first suggestion that I would give you here with your thumbnails is you've got way too much text. It's like super confusing, and I read warning, too much information. Maybe try and keep it a lot simpler. Maybe look a little bit at what other cryptocurrency YouTubers are doing. I like the warning. The warning is good, but then maybe have the some kind of addition below that gives the viewer a reason why he should click on the video. But first suggestion, the thumbnails could do some work. Maybe try and experiment with a face. Maybe try and put just a few words, but like catchy words. So for example here, last day for 10% wise staking, then you could just do like last day 10%. Let me see. So I think the thumbnails could do a lot of work. What I recommend that you do is look at some of the popular cryptocurrency YouTubers and try and do similar thumbnails that they do with a lot less text. It's a bit confusing if you've got so much text on your thumbnails. And then what you could do is I'll actually sort by most popular, because this is an easy way to find out what kind of content you should be making. So here, for example, this was posted 6 days ago. It's got 1.6k views. This is really good. Basically, videos that were posted and have more views than amount of subscribers on your channel are videos that you should continue creating. So it's either the thumbnail that works really well. So this thumbnail looks probably quite clickbaity. So maybe try and make more videos like this. Try and create 4 or 5 more videos like this. Maybe you can actually try and get some more views, because this has 1.6k views. That's 3 times the amount of subscribers. Apart from that, yeah, that's basically how you could probably increase the amount of views and subscribers that you've got. That's my very short feedback on your channel. Maybe try and think about a simpler way of creating the banner. My last recommendation for you is to use Canva. This is one of the best ways to create thumbnails. It's extremely cheap, but there's a free version called it's actually a free version. It's called Canva, canva.com. The best way to make YouTube thumbnails. Really, really easy to use. You can also use some images and elements that they've got in it. Look up Canva, best way. All right, back to the question that I was actually wanting to answer. Sean Burke, do you recommend it? I'm taking the Rational Investor Trading course. I'm not familiar with this course. To be honest, for investing, it's really difficult to find courses where the people are not shilling like certain coins. I don't know. I mean, in my opinion, it's the best is to stay with like the top ETH, BTC, and so on to accumulate those. That's probably a lot better than trying to catch like super small cap coins. What I would recommend maybe doing is try and learning the basics of trading. For that, you don't have to buy a course. Go on to tradingview.com. So this is this website here. You can make a free account on tradingview.com and you can look up many different assets. And the great thing about tradingview.com is that when you search for an asset, you're going to find a lot of trading suggestions and they're all for free. I definitely recommend that you do that first, because before you do that, any trading course, it's going to be expensive, and in my opinion, it's probably more lucrative for you to invest like probably in ETH and BTC and some other top 5, and then start learning on your own with TradingView, with YouTube videos, and then so I never took a trading course. I learned everything on my own, but I've been doing it now since more than 3.5-4 years. Gunther, I like Boris Brejcha and Solomon too. Yeah, I love those sounds. If you actually want some fantastic tunes that are similar, I recommend that you search Electro Junkie on YouTube. They've got like fantastic remixes, and I always listen to those when I'm editing videos. I really recommend Electro Junkie on YouTube if you want like some 1 hour, 2 hour remixes, and it's like kind of chill, but similar to Solomon. I do believe sometimes Solomon is used, but yeah, there's a lot of sound there that I'm pretty sure you'd like. So Jared Thompson, maybe you can send me an email. My email is in the description. Maybe I can give you some tidbits on how you can actually take it to the next level. Yeah, send me an email. Maybe I can give you some free advice. Sean Brooker, you can also send me an email about the investing. Maybe I can give you some free advice. It's a bit easier if I send an email. So that was it for today. I'll close this stream. It was a lot of fun talking with you guys, and yeah, I wish you a fantastic weekend. Not sure when I'm streaming again. I've got a few exciting videos coming up. Yeah, I'll definitely know you guys on Twitter. Make sure you follow on Twitter, because I'm posting a few hours before I start streaming. So then you might have some time to catch a stream. So with that said, I'll catch you in the next video. Really happy you also managed to catch a stream greedy. I'm starting to babble because I'm super tired. So yeah, have a great evening, I'll catch you in the next video. Yeah, that's about it. Rodrigo Favaro, write me a comment or an email with your question and answer there. This stream is now going to be finished. Have a good evening. Catch you in the next one. Bye bye.